I've been getting the question, who's buying shares in this down market and why should we be investing when things are down? And so it's a very good question. Some of the best investors in the world, they really like it when we see scary times and markets are down because it gives them opportunity to buy really good quality companies at lower prices. So share buybacks. Many companies with their profits, they can do a number of things. They can buy back shares, they can distribute out in dividends, or they can fund research and development. And so if we look at Apple over the last about 10 years, they've bought back 12 billion with a B shares. So their outstanding shares have gone down, and that's just made the shares that are left go up in value. So that's something that a company can do, and we see companies doing that regularly. Another one is foundations. You think of Harvard, you hear of the Harvard Foundation. That's money that's been given to them over the years from ex-alumni or people who have passed away. And so they are at $53 billion in assets. So some of that money goes into scholarships for Harvard grads, but a lot of that goes back, they're holding their companies or maybe they're buying more. If people pass away, they often will, in their estate, will donate money to Harvard, or even before they've passed away, they'll donate money. And so that gives them more money to invest in the market. And there's other foundations out there as well. Yale's at 41 billion, Stanford's at 37, Princeton's at 37, and the list goes on. So there's some of these huge wealth are tied up in these foundations, and they have a really long-term outlook. Their outlook is forever. And so they don't get concerned when we have inflation and things like that. They're just got their eye on the really long term. And statistically, their performance has been quite well because they don't panic in times of trouble. Then we look at pension plans. So if you have a defined benefit pension plan, there's money and investments that are backing that up. And so if we look at some of the biggest pension plans in the world, Japan has a huge one. In the US, let's look in North America, federal retirement, $775 billion that they have of investments. Same thing with the California public employees, that's $500 billion. And then in Canada here, we actually have the 7th largest pension plan in the world, and that's a Canadian CPP, and it's $425 billion. And so people are still working, putting money into that. Yeah, and money goes out from dividends and interest like that to the current retirees, but oftentimes they have more money coming in and they're able to buy investments, and so they're going to be a buyer. Like when the market goes down, they're going to continue to buy because they've got money to invest. So keep that in mind. There's always going to be buyers out there for investments, and so when there's more sellers than buyers, the market goes down, and when there's more buyers than sellers, the market goes up. And over time, we've seen the markets go up. I got a great story for you. There's a guy named Carl Richter, and he in the 50s, he did an experiment with rats, and so he put them in some water and saw when they're going to drown and figured that out. It's kind of an inhumane experiment. And then he said, let's take it a step further. He put them in the water, and just before they're about to drown, he took them out, let them rest for a few minutes, and then put them back in. And the first time, I think they perished in about 10 minutes. And then after having a break, they were saved, having a break, they were able to stay in there for 50 hours. And so why such a big difference? It's because they had hope. The first time they were rescued just before they were going to pass away. And then the second time they gave them the energy and hope to go forward. And with investments, I find clients that have been through a bear market are able to really do well through their next bear market. So they have that hope that they've been through a bad cycle and they're able to stay invested and stick to their plan, and that helps them on the next cycle. So keep that in mind. If you're a newer investor and you're having troubles right now, it does get better. And if you're able to get through a bear market, the next time around, it's that much easier. Hope that helps. If you'd like to get more information, you can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and Facebook. Have a great day.